So I think we're good to go. Except I'm not showing the right thing. Oh, okay, we are good. Okay, I don't know why it's showing that on there. Okay, so let's talk about your business. So for those of you who don't know, can you hear me?
Yeah, can you hear me okay?
Yep, I'm great. So for those of you who don't know Russ owns a can cleaning business. And so we're going to talk about his business and what he's doing with it. And actually, I'd love to talk first, Russ, about the story behind why you started it and what's going on with that business. So um, give us the story about why you started it.
Okay, so yeah, I was just fixing flips, doing remodels, real estate, and about this time, a trailer had got stolen on a job site, and I was just like, man, I'm so sick of construction and babysitting people and all this stuff. And at that time, some three kids came by, knocked on my door, cleaned my garbage can, and they did a great job. But they used my water. They didn't have hot water, and then when they were done, the extra stuff that was inside the can, they kind of just dumped in the curb.
Mm-hmm.
And so after they left, I was like, man, my cans look great. But then I looked down the street and I saw wet spots in front of like 10 other houses on my road, and
Mm-hmm.
each can was $15. So I spent 45. And I quickly did a calculation online, 45 times 10. Everybody has three cans, and I thought, oh my gosh, that they were only here for an hour. And so then I started thinking there's got to be a more streamlined way to implement systems and processes and carry that yucky garbage away with you, carry the dirty water away with you, and also a way to heat up the water because hot water disinfects them. And and then we took it one step further to put some nice smelling stuff in the can when we're done. But over the next couple of months, this idea just kept festering, and I really went into this business 100% to build a franchise process and sell franchises. Even though we have built that system, but we haven't really focused very hard on that. But that's where it started. I called Cantastic, which was already in business, and talked to them about buying a franchise. They didn't really have a lot of interest in that, but about 6 months later, they called me and asked if I wanted to buy the business. I had already started a separate company, but I loved the name. It was a lot better than the name I had selected, and I took their business, bought it, built some additional systems and processes, and now 7, 8 years later, we've got 3,000 subscription customers. We've probably done over 8,000 customers total because there's a lot of one-timers.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, the rest is really history. We took this, and with the business, we really struggled in the beginning because I used Google Maps and Google Sheets, and that was a couple years of a lot of work. And we finally got to the point where we knew we needed software. We couldn't sell a print, so we brought a developer on, and we've been developing software since 2018.
Mm-hmm.
And that business now supports about 50 of where, and we're pretty much at the point now where we develop. I spend about 6 grand a month, like I said, and that money goes towards building additional software that all of our users are constantly wanting added, and it's been incredible. So, I mean, we started doing garbage can cleaning. Now we're doing software, building trucks, offering sales and marketing. People are buying parts from us. There's a lot going on behind the scenes.
Yeah, I bet. So tell me where your business is at right now. Like, I know you've talked about this is a franchise, and tell me how many franchises you have out there, and where you're trying to move with your company, and like where are you at right now?
So our company here in Utah, we've got 3,000 subscriptions. We have really actually not marketed for about 2 years.
Hmm.
Well, I take that back. We did a magazine article in Hometown Values magazine about 2 months ago.
Mm-hmm.
Spent about $1,800 and got zero signups because we track everything. We have QR codes. We have URLs that track all that. So sorry, Hometown Values, but we didn't get any. We didn't get any new signups from that. slowed down in our growth as of recently because there has been no marketing.
Mhm.
There's just really been no time for it. But I realized if I were to tap into the tools on social media and other types of YouTube channels and things, we could probably double our numbers in 1 year, maybe even less. Um, but as far as franchises go, we only sold one franchise. The first franchise launched about a month before COVID. And so since the first franchise kind of didn't go anywhere, they were in Portland, Oregon. And if you remember that city through the 2020 election and the interesting place to be, the city was pretty much on fire. Police were getting kicked out of spots. So his franchise really didn't grow.
Mhm.
And so when a lot of people call, we still get calls probably one call a week on people interested in franchises, but I pretty much lay out the difficulties in our business. And I might just be a little bit too honest with folks on how difficult this business is to grow and to sustain. And so, due to that, I think a lot of people, they're kind of like, wow, that sounds like a lot of work.
Mm.
But really, the bottom uh, they could build the business, but it is a lot of work to grow and maintain this business, and a lot of it comes down to equipment.
Mhm.
You've got to have equipment that's maintained and is on the street and working every single day, and that's probably one of the harder things as your equipment gets older. You've got to maintain that, so you've got to have good mechanics and good contacts with people who can get your equipment repaired back on the road right away.
Right. So, what is the revenue like on your business right now? What is the actual profit you're making now? And if someone were, say, to become a franchisee, what would could they expect?
So if somebody were to buy a franchise, we would build the truck right here in Centerville, Utah, right out of the warehouse. One of the hard things about buying a truck right now is new Isuzu trucks are hard to find. We can find them. We've got some connections for that. You're
Mm.
looking at about for a truck total build out, franchise fee, all your startup, all your marketing packages. You're probably looking at about 225 to $250,000 for a franchise out the door. Right now, we're grossing anywhere from about 75 to $90,000 a month as far as profit goes. On that, I haven't really looked at my numbers real closely for the last probably month and a half. So as far as profit goes, I'd have to probably get some more specific numbers on that. But
Mhm.
the profits are very good. Um, on any given day, our routes will generate anywhere from three to $4,000 per day. Probably this week, some of the routes will be a little bit bigger, so it'll be up over $5,000 on a daily basis. And then we have a couple routes that go through Utah County or Weber County that are a little bit smaller because there's a lot of travel. Those might be down closer to the 2,000 to $2,500 range.
Mhm.
But it just kind of depends. Our route, the more you can get your routes, the more, and this is where some social media, where we haven't done a ton of social media, but we've done a little bit of target marketing and a little bit more door knocking in specific areas, wealthier neighborhoods that we have routes in, like areas of Draper where there is one neighborhood, 1 mile radius, and we might have 40 houses. And those routes generate
Wow.
there's a lot to it, and I can get some more specific numbers at a later date.
Okay. So I I know there are a lot of kids that come back from their summers, college students who come back and they're used to door knocking, they're used to doing sales, they're used to doing things that will get them into neighborhoods. Um, is this something you think that maybe those kids could benefit from starting a franchise like this?
Yeah, I've talked to several people that were doing sales, pest control or whatever, back east, and they've come home, and we've actually had some people go out and knock doors for us that already had those skills and did a great job. Um, Sorry, if somebody's got the skills or just dares to go knock on doors and they're okay getting rejected and they will still go back and knock doors, you can that's pretty much how we build our business. We knock doors, and I've had my kids out, 12, 13-year sign up ratio is much greater. If the trailer or truck is on the street, the person opens the door, they can hear it. And my kids have been more successful selling this to people than I have, because when they see me, they instantly say, "Hey, do you see the no soliciting sign on the door?" But they see a kid out there. My kids have killed it out knocking doors and doing sales. But somebody that has that background and that skill, that's willing to go out and do it, and blend that in with many other marketing options such as parades, fundraisers. We do a ton of stuff with schools, and a lot of these options. And I have a lot of these guys that are using our software. We will run through a lot of these marketing options, and we will show them how to build their business. And months later, when I ask them if they're doing a lot of these things, they're not. They're just not. They think they're just going to put a wrap on a truck or trailer, drive down the street, and they're a little bit introverted. They don't want to go out and talk to very many people. They're not willing to walk into the University of Utah lunchroom and talk to the public works department. That's the person that you can go talk to set up demos. They just have a fear of that rejection, and so a lot of people getting into our industry right now are actually selling their equipment after just about 6 months to a year,
Hmm.
because they just say, "Oh, that didn't work for me." But really, when I quiz these people and ask them what they're doing to build their business, they're not a lot. They're doing a few posts here and there, and they're driving the trailer around. But there's a lot of simple things that you can do to build this business. Um, but it's just being persistent, being consistent. Every time I go to Home Depot, I'm putting flyers on doors, on windshields, and sometimes people will call and say, "Hey, you put a flyer on my windshield," and they kind of get mad about it. And I'll say, "Hey, I apologize about that. We'll come do a free cleaning, because we want everyone that hears about our brand or our business to be happy." And sometimes they take me up on it, and then they become a customer. So, anyways, there's a lot of ways to build this business, and these
Yeah,
guys coming back from
for
summer
sure.
sales could kill this thing.
Yeah. Yeah, it sounds like a perfect fit for someone coming back from a something like that, and I wonder if we could talk about maybe later what it would take to create a franchisee situation where those kind of people can really take advantage of that kind of franchise and make sure that they're able to, when they come back, they can start something like that. Um, Let me ask you a question really quickly. What do you feel like right now maybe is your biggest hole in your business to scale? Like right now you're in a place where we talked about this a little bit before, where you feel like you're doing so many things. What do you feel like your biggest gap is right now to get your business to really scale in a massive way?
Yeah, it's probably I'm wearing too many hats. So I got people calling about franchises, so I'm talking to these people. Then I've got guys calling me about equipment breakdowns, so I'm talking to them and lining stuff up with that. And then we're just getting ready to build our own truck that we'll either sell to franchise owners or to people in the country that want a truck, or if the truck might just become one of our new trucks, and then we'll sell one of our older trucks to somebody else, because this equipment, there's websites you can sell it pretty quickly. But my big thing is too many things going on, and then I'll get sidetracked, and oh, there'll be a parade come up, or there'll be some marketing opportunity, so I'll go do that for a little bit. And then somebody will call and want parts for their machine, and then I'll go order parts for them, and there's so many different aspects. Or people call for marketing help, and then I'm distracted teaching them about the thing, or different ways they can do this when I should have that kind of stuff streamlined. So I know that I just need to focus in one area, but I think at the moment I'm kind of just taking care of urgencies.
Hmm.
So when people call with questions on they need software help, I'm dropping everything, even when I'm on a route, and I'm walking them through the software steps, because we've only got a few people that do customer support. And so I'll walk them through how to do certain things in the software, where that stuff should all be streamlined. And there are training videos, but you know how people are. I'll tell them, "Hey, go watch video number 8 so you can learn how to do that." And they're like, "Oh, I'm on it. I'm in the truck right now. I just need to know how to do it right now." And so I end up falling into a situation where I'm just taking care of urgencies, and I need to get to a point where I have systems and processes in place that are taking care of all that minutia and all those little things on the peripheral of the business, and I need to set up better systems for the parts ordering website and have a team that takes care of marketing for other companies so that they're just plugged in and we're doing all the marketing for them and they're training for it. Same thing with the truck building part of the business. That could all be something that I'm not even involved with. That is, I just have people that are experts at truck building and truck repairs that are just handling that portion of the business. And I have had hired companies that have dealt with the franchise portion and the sales for it,
Yeah.
but even they were professionals at doing that. I still had a hard time converting people because most of that effort was done during COVID. So we picked an interesting time to do that. But if I can hone in and focus like on software, if I can find a partner that has taken a software company, because we have 50 or 60 companies using our software, I fully envision and visualize 50 to 60,000 people using this software. And I know that's possible. I just need to slow down, hire the right people, get additional developers, get customer support in place. And if I had a partner from somebody who has taken a software company from very small to large scale, somebody that's like, okay, here's what you need. You need these 4 people, these 8, these 12. You need these systems, these processes, and you need $50 million, and then we can take this thing to the point where it's generating $1 million a month, or $10 million a month. So that's where I think I get really frustrated. I already feel like
Yeah.
like each one of these businesses systems should or could be generating $1 million a month, but I'm over here only generating 80 or $90,000 a month, and so I think sometimes I get pretty frustrated because I'm still going back to, like, for example, today I'm going out in a truck because I'm going to be a driver because we have trucks broken down and we have employees that have quit, for various reasons. And so I'm going back and I'm going to do a route, which I haven't really done many routes for years, but I'm going back and doing a job that I can pay somebody $22 an hour. But I'll be stuck in a truck today instead of lining up investors to take the software to another level. So, anyways, sorry, that was a little bit of a long answer.
No, that's a great answer, actually. That I love that. Russ, you still there?
Yeah, it cut out just for a second.
Oh, okay. There we go.
See you
You-
now.
We're just silent there for a second. So this is a normal problem for small to mid-sized businesses. There's a lot of irons in the fire. It's hard to get on the right page. What you're doing right now. So you talked about perhaps getting some investors, or at least you implied investors, and getting someone who understands the software space. Um, so I have a buddy who I helped create a business with. He recently sold for $100 million. He helps people with creating funding and getting investors and that kind of stuff that we should talk about, setting up with him. Also, on my show on Ace in the Hole, one of the biggest things, so we work with a guy named Marshall Goldsmith. He's the highest paid executive coach in the world. He's not allowed to trade on NASDAQ because he coaches so many of the Fortune 500 CEOs. And his research points to the idea that the most valuable thing that a business owner can have to help them progress and to become successful is accountability. So you can know all of the things that you need to do, and you can understand and have the skills that you need. Without accountability, it's a little bit different because it's hard to see the label from the inside of a bottle. That's the truth. When I'm trying to improve a part of my life, so I'm training for the Olympics, I have coaches that will tell me what I'm doing right and what I'm doing wrong and how to improve. And even though maybe I even understand the things I need to do, they hold me accountable and they get me to actually do the things on a daily basis I need to be doing. And that's a really important thing for me. For you, it sounds like for the most part, you know what you need to do. What are the areas maybe that you don't really understand right now? Maybe you need new skills or you need to know some new ideas to kind of start moving forward.
people in the service arena, and there's pest control. And I know that there's specific software for so many of these companies, but I've talked to some business owners who are so frustrated with what they're using, and they don't, and they don't want to convert over to another. It might not be worth it. It's too scary. They just recently did an upgrade to another software. It took 6 months, and so um, just figuring out the systems and the processes to make it easy for people to research our software, to have an easy upload of their data into the new software, a way to try it out, have a sandbox account where they can actually try it out. They can see the functionality. They can see short training videos on how it actually works and how you complete customer jobs, how you communicate, how you bill, how you charge. We have built so much into our software. I mean, it's mind-boggling the amount of stuff that we have added, the amount of features that are included. I just need some way to package it up to actually show it to people. We have, by the way, we never have marketed our software. We've never reached out. The only thing I've ever done is cold call people. I look up can cleaners in Michigan, California, Wisconsin, Florida, Texas, and I just cold call people and say, what software are you using? You want a better experience? Let's do a demo. I'll show you how to do it. And then any of our users that use our software, if they give us a referral, they get I think they get $150 reward for that. So we've had people refer up to 4 people, and most of them just say, give me a free month of your software. That's pretty much all we've ever done. So once we open up the floodgates and actually start marketing our software and people learn about it, I'm confident we're going to processes to support that, to use this, because the word of mouth will spread like wildfire. I'd love to take it to other countries, take it into several different languages. I mean, it's pretty fun, and it's pretty satisfying and amazing to provide awesome software for people, because I dealt with bad software for 6 to 9 months, suffering, doing things, sending one text at a time to 60 people on a route. Some of the things that I've gone through over my years with bad software and the quality of life, and missed football games with my kids, and the contention and fighting with my family and my wife,
Yeah.
because I haven't put in so many hours to keep my business afloat.
Yeah, I get it.
Good software has changed my. And I love to be able to have somebody who's like, I love when I call somebody and I'm like, what are your 3 biggest pain points? And they just rattle them off, boom, 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 and then they keep going, and they have like 10, and they're like, I'm using 4 softwares right now. And I'm like, what if you could cancel all 4 of those and use one? They're like, that's not possible. And I'm like, well, let's do a demo. And it's awesome to provide that. And I know that the software is not done being built. We'll be developing software and adding new features when we bring on HVAC or electrical or whatever service industry. We are fully aware we're going to have to go to one contractor from each one of these services and build out certain systems and processes for
Yeah.
them before we take it to. So anyways, there's
I love that.
big plans.
I think it's brilliant where you're headed, and I'll tell you why. When you're looking for investors, a service is really only evaluated between 1 and 3 times, 3x. When we're talking about software as a service, which is what you're talking about, you can evaluate that 10 to 30x. And so when you're getting investors, if they see a software that's a software as a system and it has momentum and you have users, then at that point they're willing to 10 to 30x the valuation, which means you can your business is worth a lot more because you're charging a monthly membership fee, and those. So when you get into funding something like this, and really what you need is full-time developers. You need a support staff that's helping you on a consistent basis, that you have full-time employees that are working on this, so that the people that you're servicing have the ability to call. And you say you already have customer service, which is great, but it's also tech support and things like that, where they can reach the support that they need to use what they need to. So the direction you're headed, I think, is brilliant. and I think it would be great to have some talks with some investors. But really, do you have any users right now?
Any users, you mean people using the software?
Yes.
Or
Yeah.
yep, there's 50. Well, 50. There's like 56 users right now. Only 53 of them are paying monthly because the three we just brought on, they get out of 50 companies using our software. The biggest one has about 5 to 6 thousand customers. We have 3,000. There's a couple with a few thousand, but I mean overall, there's probably about 15,000 customers being serviced around the country by those customers that are using our software. So yeah. And if I went today, I'd be cold calling another. I've got about 300 be calling people from the truck today. As I drive to my routes, I just dial. I've got 10 pages of can cleaners printed out, and I just call them. And you know what? A lot of them kind of they kind of get pissed. I mean, all of us get. We don't like getting cold called by people, but when I call them up and I'm like, "Look, my name's Russ Keach. I'm from Fantastic. I'm in a truck doing a route today. Our route is going to generate 5,000. We've got 300 cans, 400 cans. We've got three trucks on the road. Do you want to know how we build our business to get here?" And then they're like, "What? You're in the truck right now?" And I'll even jump out so they can hear my pressure washer and they hear water. And uh, a lot of them are like, "Man, I'm in the truck too. I'm in Wisconsin. Can we talk later? Because I got a big route as well." And that's really where a lot of my conversations start with people. So
I love that so much. I think that's awesome. Um, so the gaps you have are in the knowledge of creating and selling software as a service. Is that what you're saying?
yeah, yep, yeah. I mean, I'll just keep going at the pace I'm going. But I mean, if I keep going at this pace, I might be at 100 customers by, Valentine's Day, maybe 200 by this time next year, and that's all great. And I can keep growing slow, but I'm 47 years old. I want to, I want to kind of. I'm still putting in a lot of time every single day. I kind of want to grow this thing a little bit faster and start to see the world and influence thousands and tens and hundreds of thousands of people instead of 50, 60, 70. I'm ready to do more and influence more people.
How many people own a business like this?
I would say my best guess is there's probably about, I would say in between 1,000 to 1,500 uh, people nationwide right now.
Okay.
In Utah alone, there's probably 20. In St. George alone, earlier this year, there was 6 or 7.
Hmm.
But these companies are coming into business and going out of business rapidly. Like there's people, I bet 3 of the companies in St. George will probably be out of business by the end of this year. I've got a guy here in Utah right now trying to sell his business. Um, there's more. There's so many people that see our trucks out running. They think, "Oh, that's a great idea." They go buy a trailer. They don't have any software. They have no systems, no processes. They go out and try to give it a go, and then about 3 months later, they're like, "Oh, I'm really struggling. I'm not making any money. My payment for my equipment is more than what I'm making."
So tell me what your software does. Tell me what your software does, and what do you charge for it?
Oh man, can we do an hour and a half demo?
Yeah.
No. Um, the software started just for routing and billing, and one of my big problems was a lot of credit cards would fail, and then I'd be calling people and playing phone tag. So
Mm.
right off the bat, we created a system where customers can access a customer portal. They can update their own credit card when it fails. They get automatic emails when the cards fail. There's a whole template system so customers get the text and the email when we're coming to service their can. When we're done with the service, they get automatic emails telling them the service was completed. They get invited to give Google reviews. And all this stuff is automated. When you process orders, we actually offer a website. So
Mm-hmm.
it's a template website. All you have to do is give us your logos and then some pictures, images, videos, your website. You buy a domain, we host it. The website is provided. We give you a phone number. We all the phone number and the texting and the email is all in one a separate bill for. And every time I want to go check on who called me, I have to go log into that system. And so I pretty much went to my developer and said, we need a phone system inside this system that I can check every text, every email, every phone call, any messages, everything needs to be in the software. And then you can actually go to the customer's account and see everything for the communication. We've added a QR code system with URLs so that every customer can become a sales rep. They get a 10% commission. We work with this URL QR code system is kind of like an affiliate program, and we've actually built it on can cleaning. So if you refer 12 people, you get a year of free can cleaning. And we have some people who have referred dozens and dozens of people, and they might have it for can cleaning until 2026. And say, hey, we're going to just send you a check because you have credit, you have $400 credit or whatever.
Sure.
But the billing is automated. The merchant account systems are all automated. We're building new systems. The newest feature we just launched was a texting system. When your card fails, you get a text message. So because most
Wow.
people, well, a lot of people don't check their email anymore. Now your card fails, you get a text as soon as you update your card, or in the email or in the text, our customer support email center gets an automatic notification, so that when I log in at night or my secretary's in there, it'll say, boom, John Smith just updated his credit card. You go into his account, charge it. So all that has been automated. We've got the driver's portal is directly from your phone, so the driver can go out, he can complete his route, he can text the customers if the cans run out, he can text them and ask them a gate code. Gate codes are changing all the time. He can get a gate code from them very quickly. He does driver's notes when he pulls up. He can see what special things the customer might need, or a special can might be placed somewhere, or the customer might be in a wheelchair, so we're going to take those cans up to the house. I mean, there are so many things that we've been adding and are continually adding, but the texting, the biggest game changer for us was when we added the phone, the email, the text, and now web chat. So people can chat with you through your website. All this stuff, once it was added, the communication back and forth with our secretaries and our drivers has been incredible, because now a driver pulls up and says there's 3 cans, but there's 4 out. He sends a message to the customer. Hey, I see 4 cans. Do you want to add this one? Yes, add it every month, please. Boom. He cleans it while he's on the spot. We add it to their account. Driver's on to his next stop, and so the speed of the communication has been awesome. And we've added a lot of new features that a lot of our customers have asked for to continually kind of increase that. So there's more that I'm not going to go into too much detail on, but there's just a brief synopsis on a little background of it.
So I understand where you're at, and I think you're in a really good space. Actually, you've created both the supply and the demand, which is really a great business model. You actually need to once you have grown more routes, it means you can sell more of the software. How much do you charge for the software right now?
Sorry, you asked that question earlier. So the software, we actually have unlimited users. So if you come on with 20 users, doesn't matter. We just charge our customers based upon how many customers they have. So if you have 0 to 100 customers, or sorry, 0 to 500 active subscriptions, you're going to pay 120 a month, which is very low. We probably should be charging 500 a month, but this is just what we did before. When we signed up our first guy in Kentucky, we were like, well, I guess we'll do 0 to 500 customers at 120. If you have 500 to 1,000 customers, we'll go up to 199. And then every 500 customers you add after that, it just adds $50 every month. So we've got customers paying anywhere from $120 up to about $700 or $800 a month. But those that we host our website for, they pay an additional $20 per month. And we probably should be charging more than that, but that's just what we kind of set up about a year ago. And then we also, all of our phone systems are built through Twilio.
Mm-hmm.
And that is, we just charge people for what they use. So if somebody has, they spend, I on average, I spend about $75 to $100 a month on my texting and phone calls and all that kind of stuff. And so the customer is charged for what they use through that system, plus probably like a 20% increase for all the management and stuff. And that, so there's some months in the summer where I've had people pay over $200 for 1 month just for the communication portion because they came on. One company came on with like 5,000 customers, and they didn't have all their credit cards, and so they sent a ton of text messages to people to update their credit cards,
Mm-hmm.
and so their texting bill was really high that month. But for them, they were really happy because they obtained thousands of credit cards from their customers in a very easy manner,
Great. And
and so
and
for them that was just an act.
do you normally have month to month or yearly contracts?
We've actually just done month-to-month contracts. We do have a few people last month that said we're going to go to the yearly option soon because we do have a lot of seasonal campaigners who shut down in the winter,
Mm-hmm.
and they're like, man, I would rather pay for the whole year up front because the winter time when I have to pay, their winter bill might be 250, but it's kind of harder paying that 250 during the winter when I could have paid during the summer when I was making a lot more money. So we only offer monthly payments right now, but definitely looking at possibly going to that yearly payment as well.
Yeah, your yearly contracts will help your valuation a lot. So really, so this is something I do like every single day, which is help business owners in this situation where so we're going to have to get off of online to kind of discuss this a little bit more. But typically what I do with the business is I go through an uncovery and we map out exactly where the business is and we figure out exactly where you want to be in a year. So we very much quantify all of the direction and exactly the summit of the mountain that you want to climb in a year. And then we kind of fill in the gaps. And for instance, with Ace in the Hole, with the reality show that I do, I think we should have a discussion about having you on there because there's a lot of value from where you are right now. It'll hold you accountable. It'll create that uncovery so that you have daily tasks to complete. And by completing those tasks, you're in poker chips, where then at the end of every month, you'll be able to use those poker chips in a game with the other contestants where you can earn employees and softwares and automations and things that'll help you scale your business even more. And the whole point of the show is to increase your profit by the largest percentage compared to the other people at the table. On top of that, really we need to talk about talking with my buddy, his name is John Cheney, and talking about funding the portion of your business that is the software as a service. Investors right now are chomping at the bit for that kind of business. Now, there's some interesting wrinkles in investors right now because of interest rates with real estate and other things where they're holding their money at the moment for the most part. But if they're going to invest, it would be in a business like this because what you're doing is creating and you have to structure it in such a way that you do have more yearly contracts than what you have right now, which is all good. It's like where you're at is just fine. And in fact, the reason your investors will want to invest into you right now is because you have the structure and you talk about systems and processes quite a bit. You have in this conversation, which tells me that you have structure and you have organization to what you're doing already, which is really great. There's just there just needs to be a narrowing of where that structure is and how you're approaching things so that investors will be incredibly excited about what you're doing so you can get them on board. So I think we're going to end the stream so that we can just talk a little bit more about what I do on the show and what John does and how that can help you with what you're doing. So sorry guys online, I'm actually going to end the online stuff. But if you guys have any questions, put them in the comments below and I will answer them as soon as I can. This has been a really good conversation, Russ, and thank you for being willing to be online. I really appreciate that because this will help a lot of people. Okay.